This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace. You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
Hi, this is Dr. Stephanie Wautier, and I'm the host of Conversations with a Chiropractor. This is not a health how-to, but rather a conversation with some amazing people I've had the pleasure of being with on my journey of life. Think of it more like Tuesdays with Maury, a fireside chat, or chicken soup for the soul. Grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and enjoy this conversation with a chiropractor. Good morning! Today on Conversations with a Chiropractor, I have the honor of having Dr. Stem with me. Dr. Stem is a corporate wellness trainer to over 100 organizations and hundreds of employees. She's the host of the weekly show and podcast, the Dr. Stem Show and Podcast, which is an inspirational, motivational, and encouragement show. It can be seen worldwide on YouTube and every podcast platform. Dr. Stem is also the president, founder, and CEO of a global training, coaching, and consulting service, and the Empowerment Academy for Women, which is an online platform focused on personal and professional development, success mindset, mindful living, and mental health wellness. She is also the founder of the annual Bounce Back Empowerment Conference. She is a prolific author of over 40 empowerment and inspirational books, and she calls herself the self-love coach. Dr. Stem, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
It has been an honor to get to know you a little bit just across the social media airwaves. You are from Zimbabwe.
I'm from Zimbabwe. I see you did your homework. Thank you for that beautiful introduction, by the way.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yes, I'm originally from Zimbabwe. Have been in the United States over 40 years now. So I literally lived off my life in the United States because I turned 60 this year. So I left when I was 20. So yeah, I mostly have lived in the United States than Zimbabwe.
Did your entire family come to the U.S.?
So what happened was when I was 20, right? I came to the United States solely to come to school and go back home. That was the plan for me to just go get an education in America, come back home, get married, barefoot, pregnant, and also find a little job somewhere. But life has plans of its own, right? And I'm a Christian, so I always say God has plans of his own for my life. So I came first. And once I came in and was here for a year, I started working and bought a ticket for my next sister to come to America. And then the two of us bought, the ticket for the next sister until all 7 of my siblings came to America for an education. Yeah, so we are all here. Everybody has finished school. They're all married, nieces, nephews. It's been a blessing, yeah.
So you were the brave and courageous first sister to come. And where did you go to school?
You would never believe. So when you are in Africa, right, you think everywhere is Hollywood. It's all glitz and glitter, right? So when I came in first, my uncle, Reverend Sanda Sanganza, is a reverend of the United Methodist Church. He's the one that helped me apply to a school that was in Rapid City, South Dakota. So I came in that little town thinking I'm going to see the gleam, the glitter, and it was a little college by the Mount Rushmore, the famous Mount Rushmore. So I came over there to go to school thinking that, okay, I'm in America, and I was shocked because no, it is not gleam, glitter.
No, South Dakota is not glamorous.
And so I stayed there for 2 years in South Dakota. I was in college. And a friend of mine was living in Boston. But when she came to Boston from Zimbabwe, she thought she would find me in America because, she's in America. And I was all the way out in South Dakota. So then she was able to me. At that point, I didn't have a cell phone. We didn't have cell phones in the 80s, right? So she wrote to me and said, I came to America, but I don't know where to find you. I'm in Boston. And, where are you? So then she was working in a nursing home. And I said, I'm not working. They won't allow me to work. So if I can come to Boston to come and work, I will come over there too. So I literally took the bus from Rapid City to Boston. I didn't have any money to fly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That probably took days and days.
Days and days, going over there. And today it's almost like a dream. Like, how in the world did I do that? But where there's a will, there'll always be a way.
So did you stay in Boston?
I stayed in Boston. So I came and I stayed with her and I worked at a nursing home as a nurse's aide. Today they call them nursing assistants, I don't know. They have new names. But when I did it, I was a nurse's aide, nursing assistant. So I worked that job during the day. I would work in 7 to 3. During the day, and then I would go to school from 6 to 10 at night. Then I would go into a group home and work from a group home 11 until 6 in the morning, then change and go back into the nursing home. So it took me 8 years to do a bachelor's degree, but I knew without a doubt that when I walked into that nursing home and realized how difficult a job that it was, much needed work that needs to be done to help those that are now in that position helpless. But I knew that I wanted more because a lot of people, I remember asking, how long have you been here? And one said, oh, I've been here for 15 years. And the other one is, oh, I'm here for 25 years. And I said, wait. So what do you get for working here for 15 years? And she showed me proudly a little pin that she had. And she said, look, I got my pin. And the other lady said, oh, they gave me $100 this year to celebrate my 25 years. I was appalled. And yet I'm a Zimbabwean girl that is coming here with no money, nothing. But I was like, wait a minute, you are working this hard for this long for a pin and $100? I knew I wanted to do better, and I promised myself that I would do better.
Yeah. So you're the epitome of resilience, the epitome of someone who's going to work and work and work. I too was a nurse's aide back in the day.
Look at that.
While I was in nursing school at Michigan State.
Yeah.
So that is the hardest work. The hardest work.
Yes, it is.
The people who can do that for 15 and 20 years are true angels. And yet in the same moment, we wondered, did they want more for themselves? Did they think it was possible?
And that's the question, right? Did they want more? I believe that everybody wants more and everybody wants better. But depending on where we grow up, who we grow up around, who our role models are, the examples that we see, all of those things impact, our decisions and also our ability to do what I call bounce back from anything and also elevate ourselves. So I know without a shadow of a doubt that I have impacted other people to make different decisions about their lives based on how I have lived mine and how I have been so determined and relentless. So when they saw me and I said, I'm not doing that. So then here's the other part, Doc, right? When we sat in meetings and we had people that were talking to us on the phone, at those days we didn't have the Zoom videos or anything, but they would be on the phone, they would call in the administrators and the owners of the nursing home. And they're saying, hello, everyone. We're calling you from Hawaii. And, we wish that all of you were here. It's really beautiful. And you could hear the waves. Wow, wow, on there. And I'm going, wait a minute. I'm slaving here. And they're in Hawaii enjoying themselves, right?
Yeah.
But I wasn't mad at them. I learned something. It was fire that fueled me to want to do better, to want to do more with my life. And I got off those meetings and say to everybody, why can't we do the same thing? Not that I don't want to work, right?
Right.
But I want to also be in Hawaii so that I can inspire someone else. They didn't know that there was this little girl from Zimbabwe that they inspired to want to do more and do better for herself because they are in Hawaii. Now I want to be in Hawaii so somebody else can hear me, see me, and say, wait. If she can do it, I can do it too.
Wow. So 8 years to get your bachelor's degree.
So real quick, when I was in the nursing home, I want to make sure that people understand this. We do what we do in life because there's a purpose, and a reason for us being in the place that we are. If I had not been a nurse's aide and worked as a nurse's aide, I would not be where I am today doing the work that I'm doing. I was inspired in the meetings. There was also a patient that came to the nursing home as a patient with her daughter. And I looked out the window, saw them, and the daughter is carrying all the bags. And because mom is coming to stay in the nursing home, right? So, and mom is screaming loud enough that we heard her from the inside. So I ran outside and I said, can I help you? The daughter said, oh, yes, please. She's got tears running down her eyes. Mom is like, I did so much for you, and this is the pain that you give me to put me in a home with people that I don't know and strangers. I said, ma'am, we will take care of you. I'm one of the nurses' aides that are there. So I promise you, I'll check on you and you will be okay. And, I don't know where I got this speech from to say to the daughter, listen, I understand you have to do what you need to do, because being in America, I realized that you have to work, you have to do this, and you can't juggle it because we are trained to take care of her the way that we are trained. So if you're not able to do it, I understand why you need mom to be taken care of by other people, professionals that are trained to do that. So you also can call, my name is Stem, because then, at that time I didn't have my doctorate. My name is Stem. You can call me and check on mom, and I'll tell you how she's doing. And as much as I can, I'll also call you so you don't get worried about her, right? So that's the lady, the patient that asked me, what are you doing in America? And at that time, I was doing computer science. I said, ma'am, I'm doing computer science. And she says, but that's not what you're supposed to do. I said, oh, what am I supposed to do? She said, you're a social worker. You're a social worker at heart, because the way that you came, talked to my daughter, talked to me, that's social work. I said, well, ma'am, I'm not a social worker. I was really offended. I said, no, I'm not a social worker. She's like, why? I said, because social workers in my country, they tell people to take birth control so that they don't have kids. They walk house to house. They don't get paid. I want to get paid. So she says, oh, you can get paid. You actually can be a social worker, but you can also be a therapist where you counsel people and do counseling. Or you can work in a nursing home like this here, which is private, and they get a little bit more money than the regular social workers that walk door to door. So she asked me to talk to the social worker in the nursing home. That social worker, guess what? I used to admire the lady because she wore suits. She would wear skirt suits, pantsuits, and all you could hear were the heels that she was coming through, right? And then we would look in the curtain and she says, can you get that patient ready? Because we need to put somebody else in that bed. When somebody, dies, she says, yeah, I need you guys to dress her, dress him, because, they're coming to get the body, and then we need another family to come in. So it was just always on a rotating, but it was like she was just like, stern and not personable. And I'm like, well, but these are lives. And then we have been taking care of this, person for so long. So it's almost like we are also grieving, but there was no time to even talk to the nurses' aides. There was no time, to process how we are feeling. We had to quickly get that. And then all you do is you see them come in a gurney, person put in a gurney, and they're gone. Next time, another one comes in. But all you're thinking is, but how long are you staying here? And how long are you going to be wheeled out here as well, right?
Right.
And nobody talked about that. But I remember asking her, and she said to me, well, to do what I do, you'd have to get a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, and then you'd have to do some work in the field before you can get licensed. But the school that I went to, they don't take people that don't have experience. You'd have to work in a place first before you get accepted. So you can go to this school, that school, that school she gave me. And I had my pen and paper, and I was writing. I said, but ma'am, where did you go to school? She says, well, I mean, those ones there that I gave you will be the easier ones to get to. I said, I know, I will apply there, but I'm just wondering where you went to school. She says, Boston University. I remember running to that patient's room, and she said, did you talk to her? I said, yes. She said, what did she say? I said, all I know is I'm going to Boston University. That's the school that
Wow.
I'm going to. And I am a graduate of Boston University for my master's
Wow.
degree. Yeah, yeah.
Congratulations. What a
Thank you.
prestigious university.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And it is. Everybody can get in there and anybody can get in there. You just have to have the grades, to work hard at your bachelor's, get the good grades that will give you the GPA to get in there. But anybody can do it. And I just wanted to prove it. I just wanted to prove it to say, no, you don't get to tell me where you went and then you bar me from getting to go to the same school. No, ma'am. It's a
Yeah.
free
Yeah.
world and anybody can get there. So now I tell every kid, I said, listen, I did it. You can do it too. And I'm an African kid that grew up in the village in Zimbabwe. So yeah, you can do it.
It's interesting that that patient and her family were so inspirational to
Yes.
help direct your path. And yet the employee of the nursing home themselves was not inspirational and not encouraging.
Can you imagine? But then here's the thing, right? I always encourage people to pay attention because it's not, the person that you think should be helping you, should be supporting you, should be pushing you, that might be that person that helps you out. So pay attention, be open, because even a homeless person on the streets, can say something, can encourage you, inspire you to do and be someone where you say, you know what? I'm going to be, supporting the homeless, or I don't want to end up being homeless, or I want to help this homeless person that has children. You never. So as a result, I only knew that I came to America, land of opportunity. So opportunity was going to come to me any which way that it came, but I was not going to put my effort and energy on someone who was not up to encouraging and uplifting me. I said thank you, and I'm always grateful for her as well, because little does she know that today, everywhere you see me where I'm presenting, I'm wearing the most beautiful suits and heels.
I love it. And sometimes it is the people who've discouraged us that give us a little bit more fire to
Yes.
really pursue what we want to do.
Yes. So we have to be grateful. And also, the other lesson is for that social worker and all of us, we have to understand whether things are working out for us or not in our lives. Someone is watching. And you have something that is inspiring someone else or encouraging someone else. So just be on the alert that even though in my area, in my world, things are not working out, I know I've done so much that somebody else will get, or learn something from me. So we always have something to give and something to teach.
Did you grow up with parents who were very encouraging, who told you you could do whatever you set your mind to?
Can you tell?
Well, I wondered.
Yes, yes. I grew up with two parents. Benjamin is my dad and Ida is my mom, that were relentless, hard-working parents. We started off with nothing. with nothing. But I remember my mother used to plow corn and sweet potatoes and tomatoes, and we would sell them in order for us to get money. She's still a gardener now. This year she turns 80. And she's now here in America with us. But even at the back, of her house, she has the garden that she's got like pots where she grows, plants and everything. So she always was a hardworking person, but also a person that would say, in my language, "Handikundwe nechisinga taure." I cannot be defeated by anything that cannot speak back to me. So if it's something that anybody else has done, my mother says, you can do it too, and I can do it too, because it will not tell you, no, you can't be successful. No, you can't start a business. It won't. As long as you put in the work, she says, you always get results. They might not be good enough, but they are results. And the more that you continue doing it, you'll get good results. Dad was a real estate agent. He's over 80 as well. He sold homes as a realtor, but he also had other little businesses where he had like a little store, grocery store, where they sold stuff in the village where I'm from. So they were always working hard in order to provide for their families and us. And the one thing that they wanted for us is get an education. Because education is power. I still believe that today, that education is power. And once you get education, right, everything else that you need to learn is easy to learn, because we are always going to be students for life. Yes, thank you for asking that. Yes.
Absolutely. So did you get your doctorate at Boston University as well?
So living in Boston, no, actually the answer is no. But living in Boston, great place to be. My sisters, siblings, my mom, they all live in Boston. So I call Boston home because that's where all my family are. But I'm not a snow person. I'm not a cold person. So I'm not into snow. One thing that I know for sure is when the signs came out in Boston, that was my best times during the summer times. So I say to myself, wait a minute, if there's a place that you can have sunshine 365 days a year, what am I doing here waiting for the sun to come? I'm going to move to Florida. So I moved to Florida, and my doctorate is from Nova Southeastern University.
Oh, wonderful. You had that seed planted when the nursing home people were calling from Hawaii. And you're like, wait a minute, I need to be somewhere where there's sun.
Love the sun. And what I love about here is, so I'm a Pisces. I was born in March. So I love the water. You are too?
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. So no wonder why, so as a Pisces, we're just happy people, right? And being around water actually calms me, relaxes me, but also brings the bubbliness out of me. So I'm always going on cruises as well. I'm always in Clearwater, and I'm always in Daytona.
I love it. I love water too.
Right. Yeah. So I you know how it is. It's just calming and relaxing and brings the best out of us. So I say to people as well, do not be afraid to listen to the heart. Because when I was in Boston, my heart always said, well, what can I do? Because I was miserable during the winter times. I literally was so miserable, and I was sad. Situational depression. That is just caused by situations. I was not going to allow myself to stay in that situation.
Good for you.
Yeah. So it's not surprising to me that the work that I do, whether it's the Bounce Back Empowerment Conference or the counseling or the coaching that I do, that everything is about inspiring, encouraging, empowering others to bounce back no matter what life brings at you, because we have to. We have to.
Yes. So tell me a little bit about what you do day to day. I know that you have some programs and some courses for women and men, but tell me a little bit more about that.
So I'm still doing two things. I'm still a mental health professional. I do have, clients that I still support, one-on-one But my pride and joy, the Bounce Back Empowerment Conference that I do every year. And this year we are doing number 6, and it's going to be international. We will be in Cheshire, United Kingdom.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is a place where I bring in motivational speakers, I bring in coaches, I bring in pastors, anyone that has messages that can empower, encourage, and uplift the people in the audience. I started it online, and then 3 years ago we started doing it in person. And you know what? Dreams come true, because when I started it, I said, you know what? Wouldn't it be nice to encourage everyone around the world to take this around the world, so that again we can help people, give them encouragement and inspiration to bounce back, because COVID-19 affected everyone. And then what happened was, it ignited in all of us to say it's not just COVID that we need to bounce back from. Many people were still holding on to things that happened in their lives, in their childhood, but then forgot to live the rest of the days that they are in control 1000%. And also, life situations that, could hold them back, but at the same time, they could also work through them, not forget them, but to also live through them and still, have a good life through them. So that's one of the things that I do. I also have a membership program. It's called My Best Life. And this one is for women only. I know the men always go, why do you always do things for women? Well, I'm a woman and I know more about being a woman. And also, as women, we literally are the role models and leaders in our households for our spouses, our children. So it's important to have, a backbone. It's also important for a woman to have a woman that is confident in herself, that is, has inner self-love, as you mentioned, that I'm a self-love coach as well, but a woman that is resilient, that can support her family to bounce back and can support herself to bounce back. So we have that membership as well, My Best Life, that I love because I love working with the women, but to see them glow and grow, it's the biggest reward for me.
You are so inspirational. I think that these events are going to be spectacular.
So this is the 6th year for the Bounce Back Empowerment Conference. One of the things that, because I've written, over 50 books now that I've written, because I'm just that prolific writer, I love reaching out to people. So that's why I wanted to also encourage people through books. 3 years ago, something in me said, why don't you start an anthology for Bounce Back, so that you can invite other women and men that want to write in a chapter for each book. That way they also have an opportunity to tell their story, their bounce back story, to tell, also what they have learned about life, or maybe just to teach about what it is that they're teaching, right? And this year we're releasing book number 3. And book number 3 is Bounce Back from Struggles to Success. And I happen to have the other 2 here. I hope you can see them. So this was the first one. The first, Bounce Back from Setbacks to Comebacks. And the second one, which we released last year, Bounce Back from Dreams to Reality. So again, it's when every man and woman holds the book on a book launch. So every book is launched at the Bounce Back Conference. So we have as many authors come in and be in the audience. And when they are in the audience, to see them hold the book and go through their own chapter, and then people can line up and they can sign their chapter, it's like priceless. It just warms my heart because I love that for them.
I love that too. So remind me the dates for the UK Bounce Back.
Oh, yes. Thank you for asking. The UK Bounce Back is going to be on September 6th, Saturday, September 6th. We're going to have a get-together on Friday just to meet the guests. But the Bounce Back Empowerment Conference will be on the Saturday, the 6th. And then in the evening, we are having one of the biggest bashes or parties, because I will be celebrating my 60th birthday as well that night.
Oh, wow. How exciting.
Yeah, so it's really exciting. Yeah, my birthday was March 9th, but I told the people that I want to celebrate it on Bounce Back, on the conference. That evening, we're going to have the Bounce Back conference as well as my birthday.
Yay! I love that.
Thank you.
I love that.
Yeah.
Before we close our podcast, is there anything else that you'd like to share with our listeners? Anything else about just your journey and your path?
To be honest with you, I want to encourage people to dream big. If your dream is not scaring you and you're wondering how you're going to do it, then it's too small. Dream bigger. Also, value each moment, value each day, because no day is guaranteed to any of us. We are here for a time and we are no longer here. I woke up this morning after I said my prayers and I said my meditation. I went online and I read the story of a family that passed away with the India plane crash that just happened. This family, the husband, the doctor, was in the UK, and he's been working and wanting his family, wife and 2 kids to come to the UK. So he was so excited to go to India and bring his family, but then he didn't make it. And they posted his last picture that he had sent to family and said, "We're now at the airport. The next stop is home." Home can be here and home can be gone, up in heaven, or just purely dead. So you don't want to die while you're still alive. Live your life and know that it's a gift to have this life every day. It's a gift to have what you have and to be in the place where you are right now. Find something that can uplift you, that can help you, because no matter what, you will get there.
Beautiful words, beautiful message, Dr. Stem.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me with you today.
It's been such a pleasure, and I'm going to put all of your information on the show and the website and everything, but it's www.drstemy.com if you want to jump on right now while you're listening.
Thank you so much. And there's a whole free book on Fear Be Gone, because fear is what prevents many people from having and doing what they need to do. So I've got a free ebook that will really help you, especially those that struggle with self-sabotage. Please go get that book. It's really good.
Well, with over 50 books, I'm sure that so many of our listeners are going to be encouraged and inspired and find something that really resonates with them. So thank you so much, Dr. Stem.
Thank you again.
Thank you so much for listening. If you've enjoyed this podcast, would you please rate it, review it, like, or subscribe? You can find me on social media at wautierwellness.com, Dr. Stephanie Wautier on Instagram, or Wautier Wellness Chiropractic and Massage on Facebook. And I'm so curious where your next conversation will take you.